is Paige, and I'm with Urban Lotus Project. Feel free to send me a chat if I need to speak louder. But yeah, so I've been a yoga teacher for about 4 years now, and I've been with Urban Lotus Project for about 6 months now. And I'm super happy to serve you, and welcome to my virtual yoga studio. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and meet in a seated position on our mat or our floor. And we could sit, I'll give you guys a few options. We can maybe sit on our heels. We can sit in crisscross applesauce, whatever feels right to you. So go ahead and get comfortable. And we'll begin by placing our hands on our thighs. And maybe you'd like to shut the eyelids, or you could stare at a point in front of you or at the tip of your nose, whatever feels right to you. So we'll begin by opening up our practice by doing a breath awareness exercise. So we could place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. Settling into our seated posture, we'll begin to take a deep inhalation into the belly, feeling it fill up, maybe expand like a balloon. And exhale fully, bringing that belly button in towards the spine. Inhale into the belly, into the lungs. And exhale fully. Inhale into the belly, the lungs, and then into the heart. And exhale fully, out of the heart, out of the lungs, and out of the belly. Inhale into the belly, the lungs, and the heart, and exhale fully. Inhale, and exhale. We'll just take 2 more breathing rounds here. Inhale, and exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good. And we'll go ahead and release the hands down to our sides. And we'll inhale, lifting the hands and the eyes up towards the ceiling. And exhale, fully bringing those hands back down towards the side of the body. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale fully. One more time, inhale. And exhale, releasing those fingertips down to the sides. Next, we'll go ahead and do some neck rolls. So we'll inhale here. And as we exhale, we'll go ahead and lower that right ear to right shoulder blade. And maybe we'll spider walk those left fingertips away from the body. Just breathing deeply. And exhale, lowering the chin towards the chest. And inhale, bringing that left ear to left shoulder blade. And maybe we walk those right fingertips away from the body. And exhale, lowering the chin in towards the chest. Inhale, the right ear to right shoulder blade. Exhale, lowering the chin to chest. And inhale, the left ear to the left shoulder blade. And one more time, lowering the chin in towards the chest. And opening up to the right side. Good. Inhale, dropping the chin towards the chest. And we'll come back to a neutral spine, lifting the chin and the eyes back up. We could go ahead and place the hands on top of the knees. And what we'll do next is we'll inhale, lifting the heart and the eyes up towards the ceiling. And exhale, begin to round the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Inhale, lifting the eyes and the heart up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round out that spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Good job. And inhale, coming back up to a straight, long spine. We'll go ahead and lower those hands back to the sides of the body. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, we'll fold over the legs. And maybe we'll spider walk those fingers away from the body. We'll just stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. And inhale, begin to walk those fingers back up towards the side, towards the body. We'll drop those hands back towards the sides of the body. Inhale, lifting them up above the head. And exhale, we'll go ahead and twist off to the left side, bringing that right hand in front of us, left hand behind us. And maybe our eyes are looking over that left shoulder blade. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. And on the exhale, slowly begin to unwind, coming back to center. Next, we'll inhale the arms up above the head. And exhale, twist off to the right side this time. So left hand in front of us, right hand behind us. Maybe we bring those eyes over the right shoulder blade. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And exhale, coming back to center. Good job. So next, if we're sitting in crisscross applesauce, we'll go ahead and take that lower leg and bring it on top of the top leg. Good. And we'll inhale the arms up. And then exhale, folding over those legs one more time. Maybe we spider walk those fingers away from the body. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And inhale, begin to walk those fingertips back up towards the body. Good job. And we'll inhale, lifting the palms and the eyes up towards the ceiling. And then we'll exhale, lower that right hand onto the mat. We can either keep the right hand onto the mat or drop the elbow and be on the forearm. And we can extend that left arm over the head, stretching the left side body. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And we'll inhale, lifting back up to the center, bringing that right hand back up to meet the left. And we'll exhale, drop that left hand or left forearm and extend that right arm overhead. Good. Breathing deeply into that right rib cage. And inhale, lifting back up to center. And exhale, lowering those hands back down to the sides of the body. Good. Next, we'll go ahead and meet on our hands and knees. Coming into a nice tabletop position. Here we want to make sure that the wrists are right below elbows, elbows right below shoulder blades, and knees are hip width distance apart. And we could choose whether or not we want to keep those toes tucked or place the tops of the feet down onto the mat. Your choice here. So finding a nice stable position, we'll go ahead and inhale, lift that right arm up, palm facing inwards. And when we're ready and found our balance, we can lift that left leg up, foot flex. Good job. Staying here for 2 breaths. And we could choose to stay here if we'd like. Or on the next exhale, we'll go ahead and do a crutch. So we'll bring the elbow in, left knee in towards the center. And inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee into the center. And inhale, lengthen out. Good. One more time. Exhale. And inhale. And go ahead, lower down that right hand and left knee. Good. Finding our balance once again, we'll go ahead and lift that left arm up, palm facing inwards. When we find our balance, lifting that right foot up, foot flexed. Staying here for 2 breaths. On the next exhale, maybe we bring that elbow and knee in towards one another. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, crunch. Good job. Inhale, lengthen out. And go ahead, lower that left palm and that right knee. Next, we'll go ahead and bring our knees to the outer edges of the mat. Big toes together. And we'll sit back onto the heels and walk the hands out in front of us. Coming into child's pose. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths and remembering that we could always come back to this posture at any point during the practice. It's a nice resting area. And we'll inhale, coming back onto the knees, into the hands, tabletop position, tucking those toes underneath us, lifting the knees up, and coming into downward facing dog. Making sure we have all 10 fingers spread wide, pressing down into the fingertips, in the bottom of the palms. Maybe we have a nice bend in our knees. Staying here for a couple breaths. And next we'll make our way to the top of the mat, however you may like. I like to take a slow walk up towards my hands. Good. So next we'll take a nice bend in the knees, resting the torso on top of the thighs. And we'll slowly begin to roll up the spine, stacking one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head coming last. Good. And we'll come into a nice mountain position. So mountain position, we want to lift all 10 toes and bring them back down onto the mat. Good job. Next, we'll lift those kneecaps, activate those thighs, engage the core muscles, and we'll inhale the shoulders up towards the ears and down the length of the spine. Go ahead and open up those palms, activate those fingertips. Nice, strong mountain. And we'll inhale the arms up above the head. And then we'll exhale, folding forward. Coming into a nice forward fold. We could have our knees bent here if our hamstrings are feeling tight. And we'll go ahead and inhale, bringing the hands up to the shins. This is what we call flat back rise. Exhale, folding forward. And again, we could have a nice bend in the knees. We could place those palms down onto the mat. And then we could step back into a high plank. We'll go ahead and lower the knees down. And then we'll exhale, taking the bend in the elbows. And we'll exhale all the way down onto the mat. Good job. Our hands are close to our rib cage. And we'll inhale, lifting up, cobra pose, pressing down into the bottoms of the feet and the tops of the thighs. Or sorry, tops of the feet and tops of the thighs. Next, we'll go ahead and take, we'll go ahead and lift the knees up and coming into downward facing dog. Good job. We can go ahead and walk out that dog. Bringing one heel down and then the other. And inhale, we'll go ahead and make our way to the top of the mat. Good job. And we'll inhale, bringing those hands to the top, to the shins, flat back rise. And exhale, folding forward, forward fold. Taking a nice bend in the knees. Resting the torso on top of the thighs. And then we'll slowly begin to roll up the spine. Stacking one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head coming last. Good job. Meeting back in mountain pose. Taking a breath here. Inhale those arms up above the head. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, bringing those hands to the shins, flat back rise. Exhale, forward fold. Planting those palms down onto the mat, we'll go ahead and take a step back into high plank. Lowering down those knees onto the mat. And exhale, lowering the whole body down onto the mat. Good job. Untucking those toes, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. We'll inhale, lifting up, cobra pose. And exhale, coming back onto the knees, tucking those toes, and lifting up, downward facing dog. Good job. And again, we can walk out our dog here. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And whenever we feel ready, making our way to the top of the mat. Meeting in a nice forward fold. Having a nice bend in the knees, resting the torso on top of the thighs. And slowly begin to roll up that spine. Stacking one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders and head coming last. And we'll go ahead and meet back in mountain pose. We'll just take 2 breaths here. Noticing how we feel. On the next inhalation, we'll go ahead and bring those hands up above the head. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flat back rise, bringing those hands to the shins. Exhale, folding forward, planting those hands onto the mat. Go ahead, step back into high plank. We can decide whether or not if we want to lower the knees or stay in high plank. We'll go ahead and exhale all the way down onto the mat, untucking the toes, pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. We can inhale, lifting up, cobra or upward facing dog. Go ahead, exhale down onto the mat, pressing back up onto the knees, tucking those toes, and lifting up into downward facing dog. Good job. And we'll go ahead and stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Feel free to walk out that dog some more. And when we feel ready, we can make our way to the tops of the mat. Good job. Inhale, flat back rise, bringing those hands to the shins. Exhale, folding forward. Maybe we have a nice bend in the knees. And if not, taking a nice bend in the knees, resting the torso on top of the thighs, and we'll slowly roll up the spine. Good job. Next, we'll go ahead, knee back in mountain pose. And on the next inhalation, we'll inhale, and then on the next exhalation, we'll go ahead and bring that right foot back. So we're setting ourselves up for warrior series. So that right foot should be facing parallel to the mat, and then the left foot should be facing to the top of the mat. So we'll go ahead and bring our arms out to a T, and then we'll exhale, taking a bend into that left knee. We want to make sure that that left knee is right over that left ankle. And next, we'll bring our eyes over the left peace fingers. This is a warrior 2. We'll stay here for about 2 to 3 breaths. On the next inhalation, we'll straighten out that front leg, lift the arms up overhead, and then we'll exhale, taking a bend back into that left knee, bringing those arms back to a T. Good job. Inhale, lifting up, straightening out that leg. And exhale, taking the bend in that left knee, arms back to a T. One more time, inhale, lifting up. And exhale, back to warrior 2. Good job. Inhaling here, and then on the next exhalation, we'll go ahead and drop that left elbow to left knee and extend that right arm overhead. Our right bicep is close to the right ear. Good job. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. On the next inhalation, we'll go ahead and reach back up to warrior 2. Good job. And next, we'll go ahead and flip that front palm so it's facing up towards the ceiling. And we'll exhale, slide that back hand down that back right thigh and extend that left arm overhead. This is what we like to call peaceful warrior. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Good, inhale. Next, we'll go ahead and cartwheel those arms down to frame that left foot. We'll come up onto the right toes, and then we'll lower that right knee down. Good job. We'll go ahead and place that right palm on the inside of that left foot. And then we'll go ahead and extend that left arm up towards the ceiling. Coming into a nice twist. We have the option of keeping that right knee on the ground, or we could lift that right knee off the mat. Good job. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. And exhale, lowering that right knee and that left hand down. And we'll go ahead and bring that left knee back to meet the right. And we'll bring the knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together, and we'll step back into a child's pose. Taking some nice resting breaths here. Maybe noticing what the mat feels like underneath you. Noticing any outside sounds. Maybe you notice the temperature of the air in the room. Whenever we feel ready, we could go ahead and meet back onto the hands and knees. And we'll go ahead, tuck those toes underneath us, And lift the knees up and back into downward facing dog. And we'll go ahead and meet at the top of the mat. Feel free to get there however you may want. Meeting back in mountain pose. Good job. So next we're gonna do the left side. So we'll inhale here. And exhale, we'll go ahead and bring that left foot back now. Here, I'll go ahead and do it this way. Bringing that left foot back. The left foot should be facing parallel to your mat. And the right foot should be facing to the top of your mat. And maybe we could connect our heels with one another. We'll go ahead and lift those arms up to a T. And exhale, taking a nice bend in that right knee. Good job. Maybe our eyes are over the right peace fingers. We'll just stay here for 2 more breaths. And next we'll inhale those arms up above the head, straightening out that front leg. And exhale, take a bend in that right knee. Bringing those arms back to a T. Good job. 2 more times. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, take that bend in the knee. Good job. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Next, we'll go ahead and lower that right elbow on top of that right thigh and extend the left arm overhead. Maybe our bicep is close to the left ear. And we'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. And inhale, pressing ourselves back up, warrior 2. Good job. Next, we'll go ahead and flip that front palm. Right palm facing up towards the ceiling. And exhale, slide that back hand down the back thigh. Right arm overhead, peaceful warrior. And we'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, bring those arms back to warrior 2. And we'll go ahead, cartwheel those hands down to frame that right foot. Coming back onto the left toes. And we'll slowly lower that left knee down. Planting that left palm on the inside of that right foot. We'll go ahead and extend that right arm up towards the ceiling. And again, we have the option here of maybe keeping that left knee down onto the mat, or we can extend and lift that left knee off the mat. Good job. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And we'll go ahead and exhale, lower that right hand down to frame that right foot again and lower that left knee. And we'll go ahead and bring that right knee back to meet the left. Go ahead and bring the knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together, and we'll sit back into child's pose. Taking a few resting breaths here. Noticing what the mat feels like underneath the hands. Noticing if our breath feels shallow or if it feels deep. When we feel ready, we could inhale, lifting back up. And we'll go ahead and meet at the top of the mat. Feel free to get there however you may like. And next, we'll go ahead and come into a standing posture, mountain pose. We're going to be coming into our balancing series. So one of my favorite balancing postures is tree pose. So we're gonna go ahead and do tree pose. So what I like to imagine in my head when I'm doing tree pose, and you could choose to do this whether or not you like this visualization, but what I like to imagine is roots going down through my legs, down through my feet, to the core of the earth, and I feel super grounded that way. And what we'll do is go ahead and bring the weight off to the right leg. We could take a bend in that left knee coming onto the left toes, and go ahead and open up that left leg, placing the left heel on the inside of that right ankle. And we could stay here if this is enough, or we could begin to play with the balance posture. So we could go ahead and bring that left foot maybe right below the knee, or we can grab the foot and place it on the inside of the right thigh. And bringing my arms out to a T usually helps me with this balancing aspect of this pose, and making sure we stare at a still point ahead of us. Maybe we bring our hands to heart center. And maybe we bring the arms up above the head. And it's okay if you fall out of the pose, you could always try again. We'll stay here, we'll try to stay here for 4 to 5 breaths. And exhale, we'll go ahead, press the palms together, bring them back to heart center, and slide that left foot down to meet the right. And go ahead and shake it out. Go ahead, do a little dance on that. And next we'll get ready for the left side. So go ahead and bring your weight off to the left leg. Finding some strength and groundedness there. We could go ahead and take a bend in that right leg, opening up and placing that the heel on the inside of that left ankle. And maybe we stay here, maybe this is enough. Or we can decide whether or not we want to play with the balancing aspect. So maybe we place that foot on the inside of that left calf. Or maybe we grab it and place it on the inside of that left thigh. Maybe we bring those arms out to a T, or bring those palms to heart center, or bring those arms up above the head, wave them around. And we'll stay here for 4 to 5 breaths. Good job. We'll slowly begin to press those palms together, bring them back to heart center, and slide that right foot down the left leg. Good job. And go ahead and shake it out. Awesome. So next we'll go ahead and meet back at the top of our mat. Coming into mountain pose, we'll go ahead and inhale here. And then we'll exhale, bring those fingertips and brush them down onto the mat. And we'll inhale, bring those arms up, and we'll come into chair pose. So we're imagining we're sitting in this imaginary chair. Maybe we lift all 10 toes up. And we'll go ahead and exhale, folding forward. Maybe we touch the ground with our fingertips, maybe we don't. Just hanging out wherever you may reach. And next we'll inhale, sitting back into chair pose, bringing those arms back up overhead. Good job. And then we'll exhale, folding forward, forward fold. And inhale, sitting back into chair pose one more time. Good job. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And then we'll exhale, folding forward. Good job. And we'll slowly make our way down onto the mat, however that may look to you. Taking a bend in the knees, placing the feet onto the mat. We could go ahead and bring your hands on the backs of the thighs, lengthening the spine. And we're gonna go ahead and play around with lifting our feet off the mat. We could keep the hands on the backs of the thighs if this feels right to you, or we can extend the arms out in front of us. This is what we call boat pose. And I usually like to play around in this posture and act like I'm rowing a boat. It's a nice ab workout. Or we could just keep the hands on the backs of the thighs. Just staying here for 2 more breaths. Good. Exhale, lowering those feet back down. Awesome. And we'll just go through that one more time. Inhale, lifting one leg off the mat and then the other. And go ahead, extend those arms towards those feet. Staying here for 2 more breaths. You got this. And exhale, go ahead and cross those ankles. And we'll go ahead and bring those feet behind us. Bringing the knees to the outer edges of the mat, big toes together, and sit back into a child's pose. And when we feel ready, inhale, lifting up. And we'll go ahead, coming onto our bottoms. And we'll go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet together and come into a nice butterfly position. So we can have the feet as close to the body as we may like, or as far away as the body as we may like. And it's totally okay if your knees don't touch the ground. We'll go ahead and hold our feet, and you could maybe flap your wings, flap your butterfly wings, or just stay still. We can even open up the feet, maybe, read our feet like a book. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Good. And we'll go ahead and bring the knees back together. And what we're gonna do is hug the backs of our thighs. Maybe we grab the opposite forearm, or maybe it's the opposite elbow. But what we're gonna do here is inhale, and as we exhale, we'll come into a hugging forward fold. So we'll bring those heels of the feet down onto the mat, slide them down onto the mat. Extending those legs out in front of us. Good job. And inhale, lifting back up, placing the bottoms of the feet onto the mat. Good job. Next, we'll go ahead and bring our hands behind the back. Fingertips are going to be facing forward. And what we're going to do, it's kind of funny, we're going to make our body to look like a table. So what we want to do is inhale, lift the bottom off of the mat, and straighten out the elbows, coming into a nice tabletop position. And then we exhale, lowering the bottom back down onto the mat. Maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest. And next, we'll go ahead and extend the legs out in front of us. Good job. Bringing those hands down to the sides. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head. And exhale, folding forward. Maybe your hands reach the shins. Maybe they reach the sides of the feet. Maybe they reach the toes. But just hanging out wherever you feel comfortable. And inhale, reaching back up. Good job. Next, we'll go ahead and place the right foot on the inside of that left thigh. And we'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head. And exhale, folding forward. Folding forward over that left leg. Good job. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, reaching back up. Extend that right leg to meet the left. Go ahead. Maybe we shake out the legs a little bit. And when we feel ready, bringing that left foot on the inside of that right thigh this time. And inhale those arms up above the head. And exhale, folding forward over that right leg. Good job. We'll stay here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, walking those fingertips back up towards the body. Extend that left leg. Go ahead, shake them out. Good, and now we'll make our way down onto the bottoms of our mats. So slowly bringing the spine down, however you may like. Extending those limbs out in front of us. And we'll go ahead and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Staying here for 2 breaths. And we'll go ahead and extend that right arm out to a T, keeping that left hand on that right knee. And we'll go ahead and exhale, bring that right knee over to the left side of the body. Coming into a nice spinal twist. Maybe our eyes are looking at the right palm. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. And we'll inhale, bringing that knee back to center. Go ahead and give it one more tight hug in towards the chest and extend that right leg to meet the left. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, we'll go ahead and hug that left knee into the chest. Both hands on the knee. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. On the exhale, extending that left arm out to the side. And we'll go ahead and bring that right knee across the body. Maybe we bring our gaze to the left hand. Staying here for 2 to 3 breaths. Inhale, go ahead and bring that left knee back up to the center. And we'll hug both knees into the chest this time, giving ourselves a really tight hug. So maybe we bring the chin up towards the knees, and we'll just squeeze and give ourselves a really, really tight hug. And then we exhale, release all the limbs down onto the mat. Maybe the outer edges of our feet fall open. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. We're just gonna get ready for Shavasana now. So making any adjustments to make ourselves comfortable. Maybe we bring a pillow underneath the head. Or maybe we find a blanket to put over our body to keep ourselves warm. Just making ourselves comfortable. Coming back to a neutral pace of breathing. Maybe we shut our eyelids here. Resting the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the forehead. And relaxing the point between the eyebrows. Bringing our awareness to our neck and our shoulders. Maybe just allowing them to relax a little bit more. Bringing our awareness to the left elbow, the right elbow, relaxing each forearm, bringing our awareness to the left wrist, and then the right wrist. Our left palm, our right palm, and relaxing each finger. Bringing our awareness to our belly, feeling it rise and fall with every breath. Bringing our awareness to our hips and allowing them to relax just a little bit more. Begin to relax the left thigh, the right thigh, and allowing them to relax just a little bit more. Bringing our awareness to the left calf, and then the right calf. Shifting our awareness to the left ankle, and then the right ankle. Begin to relax the left foot and then the right foot. Bringing our awareness to our whole body and allowing our whole body to relax just a little bit more. Bringing our awareness back to our breath. Noticing our belly and our chest begin to rise and fall. Maybe noticing the depth of our breath. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Begin to notice any sounds around you in the room, or maybe the sounds are coming from outside of the room. Maybe you hear your own breathing. Just notice that. Begin to bring your awareness to the temperature of the room. What does it feel like on the skin? Begin to just wiggle the fingertips and the toes. Awakening the body. Maybe we rotate the wrists and the ankles. Maybe we begin to nod the head from left to right. Next, we'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head and stretch the body like you've just woken up from a nap. And we'll go ahead and on the next exhale, take a bend in the knees, turning off to the right side, using the arm as a pillow. We'll take 2 to 3 breaths here. And when you feel ready, go ahead and meet back into a comfortable seated position. Once we've come back to a comfortable seated position, we could go ahead and bring the arms out to the sides. We'll go ahead and inhale the arms up above the head, pressing the palms together, and exhale them down to heart center. Inhale the arms up above the head. And we'll exhale, twist off to the left side. Bring that left hand behind the back. Inhale, coming back to center, lifting those arms up above the head. And exhale, twist off to the right side this time. Inhale, coming back to center, lifting those arms up above the head. Exhale, lowering that right hand down to the mat, extending that left arm overhead. Inhale, lifting back up. And exhale, dropping that left hand onto the mat and extend that right arm overhead. Inhale, lifting back up. And exhale, we'll go ahead, press the palms together and meet in heart center. We typically like to close out yoga classes with the word namaste, which means the divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. Thank you everybody who joined me for the virtual Urban Lotus Project class today. I hope you feel relaxed, energized,